Today we are going to see the history of Sundarar Moorthi Nayanar. Sundarar Moorthi Nayanar was one of the Saiva Samaya Kuravargal. Sundarar Moorthi Nayanar father's name is Sadaya Nayanar, mother name is Isai Naniyar, and the adopted father name is Narasingha Munerayarar, a Kshatriya family, Pallava feudatory. And he is born in the middle of 8th century. The birthplace was Tirunavalur. The real name of Sundarar is Sundaramurthy Nambiaruran and Thambiran Thodan. The both wife name is Paravai Nachiyar and Sangli Nachiyar. Now let us go and see his history in detail. In the middle of 8th century, Nambiaruran was born in Tirunavalur to the Adisaiva clan. Even as a child, he was possessed of divine feature. His parents are Shiva devotees. A king named Narasingha Muniyar, who ruled the country of Tirumunapadi, was very distressed because he was childless. At that time, the king happened to see the child Nambiarurar. When he saw the child's divine face, King Narasingha Muniyar's heart was filled with joy. So desiring to raise Nambiarurar by himself, he asked his parents, who also agreed and handed over Nambiarurar to the king. Since then, Nambiarurar was brought up in the palace as the child of the king. He studied Vedas, epics, and Puranas. When Nambi reached marriageable age, his father arranged for Nambi to get married to Sadangavi, the daughter of Sivacharya who lived in Pudur. So Lord Siva himself came to Nambi's wedding ceremony with a small leaf in his hand by changing his form as an old Lord Siva. Nambi got the information that someone Siva Nathiyar had come to witness his marriage and welcomed him and bowed down. The wedding day came, but Lord Siva played was different role. He wanted to stop Nambi's marriage and stop him. During the wedding day, there was a quarrel happened in between of Sivanathiyar and Sundarar. What? Am I your slave? What are you mad about? Is there any evidence that I am your slave? Said Sundarar. Witness, I know you will ask. Here is this paper written by your master that you are my slave. As a witness, he showed the paper on his waist in front of the people gathered there. Nambi, who was running in a hurry, snatched the paper and tore it. Now, how can I be your slave? Nambi asked. It has been confirmed that you are my slave, who plucked and tore my leaf without my permission. But I have another leaf. I'll show you that. So, you should come with me without saying anything. Sivanathiyar took Nambi and went to Thiruvennai Nallur Sivan temple. Oh Lord Siva, what do you intend to do with me, who have stopped my marriage and taken your abode by falsely saying that I am your slave? Said Nambi. Nambi, am I lying? Wait a minute, he said. Went into the temple and brought another leaf and showed it to Nambi. Nambi's father was stunned when he saw the slave charter had been drawn and signed. The crowd said, "Okay, Nambiarurar. We also agreed that you are a slave. But what is your location?" asked that. The location itself, this is the same place. Sivanathiyar went into the sanctum and disappeared. The slave followed him to the sanctum, saying, "O great one!" Sivanathiyar disappeared and appeared as Lord Siva with Uma Devi on a bull vehicle. Seeing the scene, Nambiaruar was mesmerized and bowed to Paraman with both hands. He remembered everything that had happened in Kailayam in his previous life. Let us see that. Last time, the past history. Once when Alala Sundarar was living by the side of Lord Siva in the Mount Kailash, serving the Lord and bringing flowers from the garden to worship, Sundara cast a lustful look at Anindini, Aninditi and Kamala Lini, the attendant of goddess Parvati, who had also gone to the garden to collect flowers for the Divine Mother's worship. They too fell in love with Sundarar. Lord Siva, through his divine vision, understood all that what had happened in the garden. He called Sundarar and said, "Sundarar, since you fell in love with these girls, you and they too will go down to the earth and take a human birth. You will marry them and enjoy the pleasure of the mortal life," said Lord Shiva. After knowing the past history of Sundarar life, Sundarar was very regret that what he had called Lord Shiva is a bitter madman. And what Lord Shiva said, "My clear child, you call me Pittan, madman during your quarrel. So begin with this word and compose a poem," said the Lord Shiva. Sundara did so. The result was inspiring poem. Pitta Pirai Sudi. The Lord himself came to be known as Taduttatkunda Ishwarar. The Lord prevented and saved him from samsara life, marriage life. Now, let us see Sundarar' first poem to the Lord Shiva, Pitta Pirai Sudi, in the next slide. Let us see what are the Sundara's achievements. Sundara is believed to have visited 84 temples and rendered around 3,800 padigams hymns. However, only 100 hymns, 1,000 verses are available today. It is significant to note that he traveled to all these temples by foot, covering at least a few thousand kilometers. Sundarar's Padigam Tirupattu are collected into a seventh volume of Tirumurai, along with the composition of Thiruஞான Sambandar and Appar. The popular composition of Sundarar are Ponnar Meniyane Pittapirai Sudi, as you know. During his worship, he went to Tiruvarur. There was a caste woman by name Paraviyar who was none other than Kamalini, the attendant of Parvati in Kailas. Daily she go to temple and worship the Lord with faith and devotion and sing Siva glories. Prompted by past karma, Sundara was attracted by Paravya beauty. He wanted to marry her. Paravya, who had seen Sundara in the temple, also fell in love with him and wanted to marry him. Siva also commanded his devotees in dream to arrange for the wedding of Paravya and Sundara the next day. Sundara completed the famous poem Tirutondar Togai, where sang by Lord Siva. This is house of Paravinachia, wife of Sundara, is located on South Street in South Madavilagam in Tiruvarur town in Tiruvarur district of Tamil Nadu. Nearest railway station is Tiruvarur railway station located at about 1.5 km from house of Paravinachia. Nearest airport is located at Tiruchi, 116 kilometers. Make a visit if you have a time. During Sundara's stay at Tiruvarur, a Vellalar by name Kundayur Kilar, who was very highly devoted to Sundara, was regularly supplying Paraviyar with enough grains and groceries for the maintenance of Sundara and the devotees. Suddenly, there was a shortage in the district, and people suffered for food. Kundayur Kilar was also affected. He was afflicted at heart because he could not supply the need of Sundara. Lord Siva appeared in his dream and promised enough grain. Kubera, the god of wealth, did the needful as commanded by the god. The picture here shows one of the beautiful sculpture. Sundara sang a padigam in which he prayed the Lord to arrange for the shipment of paddy to Tiruvarur. As a miracle, the Siva Buddha Ganas shifted the entire paddy overnight and laid them in front of each house at Tiruvarur. This is Tirupugalur temple where Sundara get golden brick from Lord Siva to distribute for charity during Panguni Utram. This temple is Tirumundukundram. Lord of this temple donated 12,000 gold coin to Sundara to overcome the poor. During the trip to Tiruvendiyur, Sundara falls in love with Sangli Nachiyar and wanted to marry her. If you marry Sangli Nachiyar, then Sundara shouldn't go to Paravya Nachiyar to Tiruvarur. With this condition, Sangli Nachiyar will marry him. Sundara promised Sangli Nachiyar under the Magilam tree where Sivan was there. He married with Sangli Nachiyar and stayed with her a few months. These three slides shows Sangli Nachiyar's house. Let us see. At a certain point, he missed his first wife, Paravai Nachiyar, so he went across the Tiruvendiyur. Once he broke the promise, Sundarar lost his both eyesights. In spite of his blindness, Sundarar came to Mullaivayil. Here again he prayed to Lord to give him eyesight. At Tiruvembakam, Lord gave Sundarar a blind man's stick, and a stern reply, I am here, you can go. Sundarar gets left eyesight in Egambaranatha temple Kanjipuram. He really felt guilty with his attitude to break the promise. Sundarar gets right eyesight in Thiruvavudurai. Sundarar again prayed to the Lord to forgive him and restore sight to the other eye. As a friend to Sundarar, Sivan also helped Sundarar to solve the family problem between Parvanachiyar and Sundarar. This is one of the miracles that Sundarar have did. Once upon a time, he thought of visit Chairman King, his best friend. During along the way to visit Chairman King, it was a Punul day, thread wedding ceremony near the riverbank of Avinashi. Sundara gets to know that a boy, Brahmin boy, passed away, ate by the crocodile, and he wanted to help the family. Sundara went to the river and sang Padigam on the Lord of Avinashi to give the child back to the parents. The Creator, pleased with Sundara, entered the stomach of the crocodile and reconstituted the body of the boy. That it had already been digested. Lord Yama too released from his custody the life he had once removed, and the crocodile vomited the boy. The parents of the boy were immersed, pleased, and embraced Sundarar feet. At Kodunkolor, Cheraman, who had already came to know of the crocodile miracle, received Sundarar with still greater love and veneration than before. Sundara stayed with the king for some time. Both Sundarar and his contemporary king Cheraman Perumal goes abroad on various pilgrimages together. However, when Sundara reached Tiruvanchikulam, he became tired of life and requested Lord Shiva to take him to his abode. It is said that Lord Shiva instructed the celestial god to bring him to Mount Kailash on a white elephant. The king followed him on his horse. This occurred on a Swati Natchatram day in the Tamil month of Adi. Sundarar had lived only for 18 years. Sundarar and Cheraman went to Kailash to serve Lord Shiva with all his great heart and soul. Paraviyar and Sangiliyar, being purged all their karmas, also reached Kailasa. They resumed their original duty as a servant of Mother Parvati.